is the 9th generation of the Toyota Camry codenamed XV80. It's available in two variants, but Toyota only makes the elegant variant because it's the dealer who does the sprinting, because this is the sprint variant where all the changes have been done by the dealer itself, which is quite weird. I'll tell you why. This car is priced at rupees 57.29 lakhs on road Mumbai, and kudos to Toyota for still offering us a sedan. In a world which is behind SUVs, Toyota is still offering us a sedan, so big thumbs up to them. This is the key of the vehicle. Unlock the car, lock the car, open the boot of the vehicle, the Toyota logo and Camry written here. So the key is plasticky but definitely feels premium, at least here. Straight away, we are going to be opening the engine bay because the engine seems to be the same as before, but it gets the 5th generation hybrid system from Toyota. It gets gas struts. There's insulation here. That is the engine which just kicked in like 30 seconds back. Otherwise, it was on battery power. Why is all of this so exposed? Engine cover looks nice with this chrome Toyota logo there. Washer fluid goes in right here, and the front end design will kind of remind you, oh my god, that was quite the bang. So yes, it is strong. This is Toyota's second world car because the first one is obviously the Corolla. Other than that, all the cars sold by Toyota in India are mostly Asian specific. But this is a global model. This will remind you of Lexus models because it's sort of the spindle treatment on the grille. In fact, the design is the hammerhead design, which is the latest Toyota design, which also is there with the Prius, the car which none of us like. The logo has been shifted from the grille to the body right here. This is the panel for ADAS. There's a front parking camera which is not in the center, so it's sort of asymmetrical placement. 4 parking sensors at the front and beautiful lights because this is the C-shaped DRL. This is the low beam, this is the high beam. The car shut off because it does not need any power from the engine anymore. It can be on battery power alone. Look at this aero treatment here. Yeah, open vents. You get fog lights. Everything is LED, obviously. And this particular panel has been added in the Sprint edition, which is a sporty front skirt. Meanwhile, the indicator is functioning here. So this is obviously for the DRL as well as the indicator. Do you like the design of this car? I think it looks very sporty, especially in this red color. There is the camera, which is obviously for the lane keep assist. There's a rain sensor there as well. The size of this car remains more or less the same as before because the platform is the same. In fact, the length is more than 4.9 meters, so the length has actually increased by 15 mm. Meanwhile, the wheelbase is slightly more than 2.8 meters. The wheelbase has not increased. It's the same wheelbase when compared to before. Ground clearance is 145 mm, which might seem less, but the car does not scrape through bad speed breakers. You have to just angle it and obviously slow down your speed as well. Now, this being the Sprint edition, gets black coloring on the wheels, black finish here, black colored roof as well. This is actually a sticker job here, so they've added a wrap. A wrap here has been added too. Meanwhile, the tire size happens to be 235 45 18, typical Toyota design language of the alloy wheels. It says HEV right here, hybrid electric vehicle. There's a camera here. In fact, there's chrome treatment right there. Sensors only on the front doors for keyless entry. And coming to the rear of the car, the sporty elements have been carried forward with a lip spoiler. Yeah, it's a very Chintu Mintu spoiler. And of course, the diffuser treatment, which hasn't been stuck properly because it is coming out. Look at this. That is because this thing has been done by the dealer, not by Toyota. Then why do it? Just let the dealer sell whatever accessories the dealer wants to. Anyways, the car looks quite sporty and the C-shaped treatment has been carried at the rear as well. So yeah, C-shaped tail lights. In fact, this is the indicator which seemed like halogen but is definitely LED. So is the reverse light here. Says Camry right here. There's a camera, HEV and sort of a chrome treatment. Meanwhile, look at the finishing here. It's not properly done. I expect better from Toyota. This is the reflector obviously. Meanwhile, there is an exhaust which is hidden and there is a towing hook as well. Let's quickly get into the boot of the vehicle. There's a high mounted stop lamp by the way. So I press a button and there it opens. Yeah, it's again asymmetrical. The boot is decent sized. In fact, if you notice, there was no battery in the engine compartment because the battery has been placed somewhere here. Yes, that is the battery of the vehicle, the regular battery, not the one which powers the hybrid system. This is the warning triangle and I can lift this because it is very neatly organized. What you see here is obviously the toolkit, the towing hook, and this is to open the tire. This is jack. Rose will be somewhere. I don't know what this is. Okay, it says, I don't know. I don't care. Let's open this. Spare wheel is full size and it is an alloy as well. When global stuff happens in India, we get so excited now. Nicely insulated. Just pull this to close the trunk, but lot of exposed bits. So you can see the speaker there. There's a light placement here, but open wiring, that's not very cool. And there are hooks here on both the sides, so you can secure your luggage obviously. So in terms of design, the Camry is actually looking very sporty and I definitely like that. To open this, you have to do it from inside obviously. And space at the rear is very less. There is no space only, but there's a trick here which I'll show you. First and foremost, door pockets are decent size. beautiful stitching, leather, and you get sun blinds which are obviously manual here. Seat is reclined on this side, it is upright on that side. I can recline it if I want. And something is taking off right now. This sticker job or the wrap on the top is not beautifully done, because you can see and feel that it could be slightly better in terms of the fit finish. But then Toyota's like, we can be sporty. Our dealer will, I mean, a dealer does all the sprinting, so let him try that as well. Okay, not focusing. Bye plane, take care. Now the space here is not great, because I have actually pushed the seat all the way behind to show you the boss mode, so I can push the seat all the way ahead from here, which is super cool. Because once I do that, there's obviously good amount of space at the rear. The Camry is a chauffeur driven car and it has a lot of space. I have not even put the seat all the way ahead. Actually, the footroom isn't great because the battery is placed right here below the co-passenger seat. However, under thigh support is not the best. Headroom is adequate enough. Height adjustable seat belts at the front. Let's shut the door. Yeah, everything feels heavy somehow. There's a hook, there's a handle to hold on to. The roof is finished in black. You've got lights here on the top. Typical classy AC vents, and you get two USB-C charging sockets right here. But there's a hump, which means three people will not be very comfortable. You get magazine holders here. This is not scooped out. And Isofix child seat mount. Center passenger gets a head. There's a sun blind here, which is electrically adjustable. This is manual. And there is a center armrest here. This does not open. There are twin cup holders, and there's a 10.1-inch screen here. So if I press this button, there I can put the sun blind down. It will automatically go down when I get into reverse, so very thoughtful. And then I can move the seat from here. So there I am reclining the seat. It's a good recline angle that makes it super comfortable. Leather finish, proper seat belts for every passenger. And there are some buttons for the audio as well as to move the seat, and the air conditioning operation too. So let's just turn on the air conditioning. It will not work because the air conditioning has been turned off from the front. But yeah, you have this option as well. And this is obviously a fingerprint magnet. Meanwhile, you can access the boot from here. If you want to carry longer items, you can do that too. Nice and comfy. The dashboard design has been revised too. It looks very neat. And the best thing I like about this car is that overall quality fit finish is quite good. Yeah, there are some hard plastics here and there, but not much to complain about, honestly. And there's this aero treatment which Toyota does, which is obviously now not visible because of the wrap which has been done on this car. The wipers are quite nice as well. This is from where water actually comes out for the washer fluid. And I definitely think this is not even a stock car. This feels so aftermarket because of the color and the sportier treatment. Who needs a Camry which looks like this? Definitely we do, because it's so nice. This is actually open. This is usually never open in a car, but it is open. It says Camry here. Door pockets are decent size at the front. Power window controls, controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment, and these are for the memory seats. You can save up to 2 people settings. Meanwhile, it is a 10-way adjust for the seat. It has got lumbar support as well. It says SRS airbag because it has got 9 airbags. You get a proper dead pedal. That is to open the hood of the vehicle. That is to open the fuel and the boot. And there is another aircraft taking off. That's Indigo. Meanwhile, I can open and close the sun blind from here. I think this is to increase or decrease the brightness. Yes, I can increase or decrease the brightness of the cluster from here. This is for the 360-degree parking camera. This is for traction control, and this is for, I think, auto high beam assist. Meanwhile, this is the headlight leveler. You get paddle shifters too. Seats are really nice and comfortable. I'm just going to press a button here. I press 1 and notice how the steering wheel is going inside, how the seat is moving, going down. So memory seats and memory steering wheel too. And that's not all. This car will automatically move the steering wheel every time you turn on the vehicle. So it remembers all that. That is the welcome function, obviously. The disappointing part is this screen, because there's not much inside or not much to do. It says JBL here. It gets a 9-speaker JBL audio system, which actually sounds quite nice. They've gone for a tan treatment, which actually looks quite tasteful in a world of beige and black. This is tan and black. This is completely filled because Toyota is obviously tracking where this car is going, and I don't seem to be finding the cooling function inside, so I'm not too sure if it is there. Meanwhile, the glove box is decent sized. It has this sort of a guitar treatment, is what they like to call it, the continuous AC vent treatment, which Audi pioneered, Maruti and Hyundai copied, and now Toyota has also added. Auto dimming mirror, lot of controls here, because this is to open the sunroof and this is for the light control. But the funny thing here is that Toyota does not call this a sunroof. Toyota calls this a moonroof. It opens, so it is not a moonroof, it is actually a sunroof, and it opens decent size. But at this price, you would expect a panoramic sunroof. And then you can just move this blind on your own. Should have had a better blind which was inside and only moved electronically, but no, Toyota's like, no, we will not do that. No hard plastics as such, at least not on the top. This is not very hard. It is little hard, but this is really soft, and hard plastics are here lower down obviously. Meanwhile, here you obviously get a mirror along with the light. This does not extend. There is the microphone on the top. Even the driver has a handle to hold on to, because obviously the Camry is soft in terms of the suspension, so there will be body roll. The steering wheel feels nice to hold. New and beautiful treatment here. Some piano black switches, but proper controls, nothing haptic here. So this is for the cruise control system. It has got adaptive cruise control. This is for the audio system. Again, this is for the volume control. Proper button here, voice commands, and this is for the phone, and this is to go through that particular screen. This is a 12.3 inch screen. This is a 12.3 inch screen. That is a 10-inch heads-up display, which you can't really configure. Here, it's a bit disappointing because there's not much. This is obviously for the audio system. This is for the Bluetooth. And when you get into the vehicle, you can get into the climate. You can change the climate setting from here. It's actually a very boring screen. There is the energy flow, the most important thing which I would like to see in this particular screen, because there's not much to see as such. And then you can get into the settings and make changes. But if I press a button, it will spin around and show me the 360-degree parking camera, a feature which other Maruti and Toyota cars have, and they work exactly the same. Not different at all. Where's the sunroof? Why is it missing here? So that's not very accurate. Why is this egg-shaped thing spinning like this? Now it's going to spin again. I think I can spin it with a different view as well. This is a bit slow. It has got Apple CarPlay, which is wireless, but Android Auto is not wireless. Android Auto is wired. I don't know why it's like that, but it is what it is. Now it's giving me an underbody spin to show me how the underbody looks like, and that takes a few seconds. There's a lot of storage space here. Look at the amount of storage space with twin cup holders, some storage space here. Below here, you've got a lot of storage space along with a 12-volt charging socket. This car does not have a single USB-A. Instead, it has got 3 USB-Cs. One also connects to the car for the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Meanwhile, there's a wireless charging pad. Gear lever feels nice to hold. Electric parking brake, EV mode, auto hold function, and the 3 drive modes of the vehicle. Meanwhile, you've got physical controls for the air conditioning. You've got seat ventilation for the front seats and a proper switch for it. This is how you make a car. Everything is physical here for the air conditioning, which is just awesome. I love it. And that's not all. This is for the hazard lights. So nicely done. This is the engine start button. This is to adjust the steering wheel, which is obviously electric. It has something known as Nano EX, which reduces the bacteria and bad particles inside the car. This is something which Toyota is doing way before the Koreans started doing the air purifier thingy. Now this instrument cluster is actually nice, but it's not very flamboyant. There's not much to see inside. I can go into multiple views here. I need to press these buttons. So first I just get out of that menu. This is the map view. This is the adaptive cruise control mode, and this is another view which also shows me the tire pressure. Now if I press the OK button, yeah, I can probably go to the full screen. I have to keep some buttons pressed, and then I can browse through a lot of stuff like settings, messages, driving support, and all that. Can come to the right side and make changes. Look at the amount of stuff I can see. It is so freaking loaded. You have the energy monitor, you have the tire pressure, fuel economy, and all those things. So you can change everything individually for each of the sides. The problem is that it doesn't look that great. And this screen actually shows you the Toyota logo every time you turn on the car. These are the controls for the headlights: automatic headlights, automatic wipers, obviously exposed screw. Can you see that? Well, that's expected. And the steering actually seems to have some sort of weight too. They've added leather. It's a leather wrap steering wheel. It feels really good to hold. Now let's quickly get into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera. And you notice one thing, the mirrors will automatically move when you get into reverse. It has a 360-degree view, but no bird's eye view. You can change the camera view. Those are adaptive guidelines. I'm a bit disappointed that this does not have a bird's eye view, because a bird's eye view would be so freaking awesome. But this Camry seems to be quite sporty. Does it drive as sporty as it looks? Let's start driving right away. All right, it's time to start driving, which means let's turn on the car. Silent. You don't hear a thing. It is that silent. This screen takes some time to load. Meanwhile, there are actually vents here, defogging vents for the window. It gets UV cut glass as well, and it gets connected car tech. I'm just talking all this so that the screen loads. It's so slow to load. It's quite baffling. Straight away, let's turn off the air conditioning. 2 zones here, 1 zone at the rear. So it's a 3-zone climate control air conditioning system. And I thought some noise of the air conditioning was coming, but it's actually from an aircraft. Let's quickly turn on our specialist timing gear, and from here we are going to come into the energy flow, because that is the most important thing I feel. And let's change this to the cruise control mode probably. we're going to change it throughout the drive, obviously. Let's turn off traction control. Before that, let's come into sport mode, which is obviously the best mode in this car. It's telling me tire pressure is low, so tire pressure warning is coming. I need to turn off the traction control again, I think. Yeah, there it is, turned off. And left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. We enter drive mode, we come into sport mode. Doesn't rev, it does rev. It tells me accelerator and brake pedals press simultaneously. Look at the engine becoming so aggressive, and off we go. Yeah, that had some amount of wheel spin for sure. Yeah, the road is not very clean as such, and I am not able to time the car right now, but we'll time it later. Anyways, this car is powered by the same 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, which Toyota likes to call as the dynamic force engine. I don't know why the naming is like that, but now it gets a new hybrid system. It's the 5th generation of Toyota's hybrid system, which has dropped the nickel metal hydride battery and now gets a lithium ion battery, which is obviously lighter, but the size has become smaller. Earlier it was a 1.4 kilowatt hour battery, now it is a 1.04 kilowatt hour battery. This is what I've heard. I'm not too sure about it, but definitely the battery has become smaller is what I'm told, because pure electric range is just 2 kilometers, around 2 kilometers. In fact, let me get into EV mode. Yeah, now we are in EV mode, and look at the silence with which this car is driving. I can drive on pure EV mode. Isn't that unbelievable? And as soon as I speed up, it says EV mode deactivated, accelerator pressed too far. I did not even press more than 20% of the accelerator. EV mode is gone, khatam, finish, khalas, over. But because of the hybrid system, this car is super efficient. 25.49 kilometers per liter is the claimed fuel efficiency. In the real world, you can get around 16 to 17 kilometers per liter. Who needs a diesel when you have a Toyota hybrid? Honestly, it is unbelievable how this hybrid system is so smooth. The engine is extremely smooth and refined lower down, and doesn't have any lag lower down, because obviously the electric motor gives you that instant torque. And there are a lot of complex numbers to talk about, because the combined output is 230 PS. Meanwhile, the combined torque is 221 Newton meters. Actually, 221 Newton meters is the torque coming from the engine alone, and the engine alone makes a power of 187 PS. Okay, there's a bump because it's a sedan. I have to go a bit slowly, which actually reminds me, I didn't tell you, this car has a 524 liter boot. Okay, so now 187 PS from the engine. The battery is making 136 PS. The combined output is 230 PS, because A plus B is not C in such cars, because the output is on different RPM, so you can't really say that the output is together so much. It doesn't happen that way. Meanwhile, the battery alone makes 208 Newton meters of torque, and the engine is making 221 Newton meters of torque, which happens to be the peak torque of this car, or the maximum torque from this car. It gets an eCVT gearbox. I think it's a 10 speed. Let's try and make shifts here. Yeah, it goes maximum till 6, because this actually restricts the top gear. So when I put it in third, let's see whether it shifts beyond third. I think no, it shifted to fourth. But anyways, little complex there, the way the Toyota system works. But having manual control doesn't really help, because I have shifted, nothing is happening. It's just doing whatever it feels like. So that doesn't really matter. What matters is that the performance is actually very good, and it does sprint ahead very quickly as well. In fact, this car is underpinned by the same platform as its predecessor, which is the TNGA-K platform, which is Toyota New Global Architecture. They call all their platforms TNGA now, but change it from K to other alphabets depending on whichever car it is. It obviously has got ADAS. There's some problem with the tire pressure, that's the reason it's giving me that warning. So this car has obviously got ADAS level 2. It has got lane keep assist, it's got lane departure warning, it has got forward collision warning, it has got adaptive cruise control, I think it has got rear cross traffic alert, but it has not got any blind view alert or a blind view monitor, something which would have been really nice to show the blind spots, because Toyota's own country or fellow country company Honda does lane watch camera, which is not here. Hyundai Kia do this amazing blind view monitor, which is not there. And because the roads are like how they are, that's the reason people are just shying away from buying cars like these, because look at the kind of big bumps on the road. I can go through so many things here, which is quite crazy, but it's not very easy to use. It's not very intuitive to use, which is the disappointing part. So I've come to the third view just because I can, which has the tire pressure monitor here, and off we go. The weight of this car is 1645 kgs. The fuel tank capacity is just 50 liters, which is fine. It picks up pace so fast, but the suspension is on the softer side, because of which it has this floaty feel at high speeds. The steering is decent. It's not very responsive as such, but yeah, definitely it has a lot of roll. It rolls and it rolls a lot because of the soft suspension, but the ride quality is very amazing. It has an amazing ride, something which goes with the premium appeal which Toyota is trying to position this car with, which actually brings me to the rivals of this car. Toyota's like, this car is better than the German counterparts like the C-Class, the 3 Series, the A4 and the S60. It is actually, in terms of reliability, in terms of ease of ownership, in terms of maintenance cost, in terms of service. These factors, if they are important to you, close your eyes and get the Camry. However, for people paying so much money, it's all about the swag value, which unfortunately the Camry lacks, because globally it's a very popular taxi. In India also, it's used a lot in the commercial vehicle segment. Still, I would say kudos to Toyota for still offering us a sedan in a world where every car should be an SUV. SUVs are just dominating. In fact, this is a world we are living in wherein cars which are not SUVs also are pretending to be SUVs. If you ask any car what are its pronouns, it will just say SUV. Yes, and you have to slow down like this with with sedans. That is the only problem, but the driving feel of a sedan and the elegance is just something else. We're going to make a quick stop here. Not here actually, I just realized it's an incline. I want a flat patch of road to be able to do the 0 to 100 km/h acceleration test. The rubber band effect is obviously there. The engine makes quite a lot of sound when you go heavy on the throttle. Otherwise though, the engine is very silent at city speeds. Out on the highway, you rev it and then you can hear the way it sounds. Yeah, it just becomes quite vocal as the 2.5 liter engine comes up in all its glory, naturally aspirated. No tachometer here, so I'm not really enjoying that. My eco score is 67. Need to improve it by 2 immediately. Look at the roll of this car, which is mind-blowing. Yeah, so much roll, but then a Camry is not supposed to be driven this spiritedly. It's about comfort, and that's an area where the Camry absolutely excels. It's a comfortable car, which competes largely with the Skoda Superb. Forget the Germans. Let's talk about the Superb. The Superb is in its last generation and costs 14 lakhs, not 14, 11 lakhs more than this car. I'm talking about on-road prices. However, the Superb is being sold at around 14 lakh discount. So the Superb's on-road price is 68 lakhs, but dealers are giving 14-15 lakhs discount, because who's going to buy a Skoda Superb for that price, right? And that is the reason why the Camry has some tough competition. Not really because this is a new generation model. This seems to be way better than the Superb, because the Superb doesn't get a diesel anymore in India, which is unfortunate. And the Superb is the last generation. Let the new generation model come. It will cost more than this car, and then again Toyota will win. And Toyota keeps winning like this because the Camry is one of their most iconic models. What a car! Absolutely brilliant. Let's stop and launch here because I think it seems like a flat patch of road. Hazard lights on. Let's reset this. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Hazard lights off. Revving it, and off we go. By the way, there's a regular drive mode. There's a sport mode here as well, which kind of gives it a sportier drive feel, I think. And we have gone from 0 to 100 km/h in 8.2 seconds, which is actually fast. I'm quite impressed, and also impressed with the fact that Toyota's commitment to sedans is amazing, because they have been selling the Camry in India since 2002, when the 5th generation model was launched. Now we are in its 9th generation, which means Toyota sold us 5 generations of the Camry in India. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Yeah, 5 generations of the Camry in India, which is quite nice. In fact, with the 7th generation model, which was launched in 2013, they started local assembly of the Camry in India, and this is a CKD. Oh my god, really bad patch of road. This really scares me, because you have to really slow down, because it's a sedan. At the end of the day, you have no option of just speeding through like you can in SUVs. So Toyota is like still giving us the Camry, doing it since more than 22 years, which is unbelievable. Meanwhile, Honda's like, nahi, mujhse nahi hota. I can't do it. No. Yeah, Honda discontinued the Accord, even though the Camry and Accord had a tough fight for multiple years. Honda's like, no, we cannot do it anymore because the market is too small. Toyota's like, what market? We create the market. We are Toyota, and we launch cars which we know people will buy because we make such great cars. And the Camry, although it sells in less numbers, it shows that Toyota is awesome just because they gave us the Camry. Now be nice, Toyota, and get us the Supra as well. I know I'm being super greedy today. Anyways, the battery of this car has an 8 years 1.6 lakh kilometer warranty, which is usually the case with electric cars, but Toyota is giving us a good warranty on the battery, which is amazing. The turning radius at 5.7 meters is also okay. It's a long car, so a little bit higher in terms of turning radius, and I can beat that time for sure. I want to do sub 8-second time today. In fact, this is the first generation of the Camry which is assembled in Japan but not sold in the domestic market, because obviously in Japan Toyota has a lot of other crazy cars, and this is the first Camry to get not get pure petrol power. Yeah, there are no petrol variants in the US or Europe, because now it only comes with a hybrid powertrain. But that said, why is it called the XV80? 80 means 8, right? It is the 9th generation model. Actually, the first 2 generations were not called XV, and from the 3rd generation they started naming with XV. Should we go over this bump? No, it's too bad, it's too big, it's too horrendous, but we'll go over it slowly. Yeah, now that soft suspension can be felt. So from the 3rd generation they started calling it XV. I think they skipped XV60. I don't know why. Maybe it rhymes with XC60, or probably the XC40 should have, sorry, the XV40 should have not been named as well, because that rhymes with XC40, but XC40 wasn't there at the time and the XV40 came. I'm talking about the code names here, which is very pointless, because what will you do with code names at the end of the day? Next generation will definitely not be called XV90, creating confusion with the XC90, but who anyways talks about code names, because that's something it doesn't really matter. Come on, let's get on the gas. The hybrid system works beautifully well. You can see the functioning of the hybrid motor. This is a self-charging hybrid. It's not a plug-in, and the way this is able to manage everything is actually very nice. It does manage the hybrid system beautifully well, wherein you never ever realize when the engine kicks in. Actually, you do realize when the engine kicks in, but it does it so smoothly. You can't predict when it will kick in unless and until you have these screens open. And we're going to make a quick U-turn. One hand operation, because the steering is actually light and it centers very quickly. And definitely this car's beauty lies in the fact that the steering does have feel. Meanwhile, it has got 3 drive modes. There's an eco drive mode which actually changes like this. Can you see that? When I put the eco drive mode, it showed me this display, and now I'm going to come into normal drive mode. Yeah, Toyota is doing so much flamboyance, which is quite unbelievable. Something very un-Toyota. Like, Toyota usually never does all this, but Toyota's like, now we will, now we can, because, I mean, Toyota can do anything. It is the mothership. It is one of the biggest automobile companies in the world. And my respect for Toyota is obviously going through the roof today, because they're not making electric cars, or at least not betting on them. There's a BZ4X something which I can't even name. So difficult for me to understand that. Sport drive mode has a different animation altogether. And now I think we will go ahead over this. Oh my goodness. The road noise and the wind noise is also quite well contained, which is very impressive, which actually makes me want to do the 0 to 100 km/h test once again. Yeah, half the times it doesn't give me shifts only. No screeching from the tires. Yeah, just the traction control light blinking. In fact, notice one thing. We're going to do the 0 to 100 km/h test. I've turned off traction control. Okay, I've done that. We'll reset this because we're going to time it. I have to go back from this menu because it always shows me traction control turned off. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Does not rev. Now it does. And off we go. It even shows me in the heads-up display that I have pressed both the accelerator and the brake together. 0 to 100 km/h. Come on. Give me the time. 8 seconds. We are a little shy of doing it under 8 seconds. But as I see it, this is an absolute fantastic car. The Camry is total love. I know the reputation of the Camry is a bit towards the commercial side of things, but with this Sprint edition, which is not the best finished, it definitely looks quite sporty, and that is another reason why you would probably be attracted towards it. Maybe they can lower the car, make it more performance oriented, and let's go through this corner. Traction control automatically turns on beyond a speed. That also happens here. Understeer in abundance. And we're going to end this video with a brake test by hitting a speed of maybe 80 km/h. Lot of nosedive under heavy braking. Brakes are good, but ABS seems to be oversensitive. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. Toyota is back in how? Toyota never left, but this is what I expect from Japanese companies. Give us something which doesn't make much sense. We will love you. And the Camry is proof that you don't have to set the sales chart on fire to win customers' heart. You just have to launch global models and tell us that you are not differentiating us with other people from other countries. Bye-bye.